Hello, hello. Already shows that it started a lot quicker than normal. Hello, hello, hello. We're we're here again. Don't know why I yelled that, but we're here for our second time streaming UFC 5. The first event I had a lot of fun putting together and then actually partaking in the fights. And I have a lot planned for the future and the right now. And you can see in front of you the card that you will be viewing in the next couple of minutes. So hopefully enjoy the last one. Hopefully enjoy this one. Hopefully enjoy all of them. Don't really have any cliche things to say. Let's just go ahead and start the whole thing. I do have like disclaimers throughout. So, fight one, continuing our heavyweight Grand Prix. Last episode, Stipe Miocic advanced out of the first round after defeating Cain Velasquez. The winner of this bout will face Stipe Miocic in the heavyweight Grand Prix. Two heavyweight legends, which, you know, you could really throw that term out loosely, but like, we're talking about Fedor and Emelianenko here, so like, it's understandable. But the winner of this fight will fight Stipe Miocic. And it is both Pride FC versions of the fighter. Obviously, Fedor only has the Pride version. Overeem has a couple of versions, and I would have felt a little bit weird if I used Pride Fedor and then not Pride Overeem, even though I know he's a light heavyweight. Disclaimer. This is disclaimer one. So, I went back, and I was like, I'm going to do Israel middleweight or light heavyweight Israel versus light heavyweight Pereira after we ended the stream last round, because when I streamed it for y'all, it was middleweight Izzy versus light heavyweight Pereira, and I said, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it matters, and it really didn't, because when I used both versions at light heavyweight, the fight was done a lot quicker than what y'all saw. So I don't think changing it up and what divisions they're in matters in the grand scheme of things. It's mainly for aesthetics purposes. Now, we have two number one contenders fights taking place, two rematches of somewhat controversial bouts. You can throw that word out whenever, wherever. But the first one, number one contender for the Flyweight Championship, Henry Cejudo versus TJ Dillashaw. They were the main event of the first ESPN UFC show. There's a lot of hype going into that fight. Dillashaw wanted to be a double champion. He wanted to face Demetrious Johnson. Demetrious Johnson lost to Cejudo, and so he was out of the picture and out of the company entirely soon after that. Shout out 1FC. But Dillashaw ended up facing Cejudo, and Cejudo did him up, and then Dillashaw was really never the same after that. Had to vacate the bantamweight championship, and he got suspended, and there's just a whole bunch that came with that. So it's a bit of a redemption story for Dillashaw here and get another chance to be flyweight champion. And he doesn't have to go through a lot of the trials and tribulations he had to go through in real life, because this is a video game. A lot of his issues was weight cutting and whatnot, which it's a video game. You don't have to worry about that here. Now, a fight that is scheduled to take place in real life in the main event of UFC 312. Which what is hilarious is last time around I wrote notes for all the fights. This time around I did as well, which some are good, some are bad. But for the first two fights I didn't even use the notes, but I essentially said what I needed to say. But the next fight right here will be the main event of UFC 312, a rematch from UFC 297 where Strickland lost his middleweight championship to Dricus du Plessis, and he's been champion ever since. They will be fighting here. Again, another controversial bout. A lot of people thought Strickland won. Like I said, you can throw that term out loosely. If you want to know who's going to win, you either watch this, you can watch the previous fight, or you can watch their fight that happens in real life. But, this is a video game. Now, our last two bouts are title bouts, two what-if bouts. The first one, for the flyweight title. The current flyweight champion goes against the greatest flyweight champion since Demetrious Johnson's departure from the UFC. Several men have held the flyweight gold, which is a far cry from when he was in the company. Probably, it's debatable between who the best champion has been, but Pantoja has been dominating the division, and even after the last title defense, he called out Demetrious Johnson because he feel like he's done anything and everything that he can do. So the fight probably is not happening in real life. You want to know what could happen? Here we go, right here. And our main event, one that hurts me a little because I love both of these fighters, but it is another what-if bout. And if I'm going to go to the middleweight division, I'm going to put two of the top-tier fighters against one another. And again, it was one that could have, should have happened and didn't. We're doing it here, and it's our main event. Robert Whittaker versus Georges St-Pierre for the middleweight championship. The description I wrote: the middleweight championship went into a bit of chaos after Anderson Silva's long title reign came to an end, and the chaos turned up a little bit more when Michael Bisping became champion. A lot of bouts were lined up to take place and potentially take place. And you could say a bout with Robert Whittaker should have taken place and been top priority, considering he won the interim championship at UFC 213 against Yoel Romero. However, the top priority ended up being one of the biggest main event fights in UFC history, with GSP versus Bisping at 217 at MSG, as Georges St-Pierre set to improve his GOAT status a little bit more by becoming a double champion, which he did. And you would say soon after, we should have had a unification fight between St-Pierre and Whittaker, but George soon vacated and retired. Afterwards, some more setbacks set Whittaker's title reign up to not be as dominant as it potentially could have been. So hopefully for their sake, we can find out who would have won this fight and who could have a dominant middleweight title reign here. Now, I will say, there's a lot that I will say. I'll say this now while I'm thinking of it. I know that Georges St-Pierre mainly fought at welterweight, and a lot of consideration was going about of like, do I put GSP at welterweight? And I was like, no, I want to see a middleweight GSP. And the welterweight division is on pause a little bit because there's a lot of talent there. And so when the heavyweight Grand Prix is done, the next Grand Prix and tournament that will be set up will be for the welterweight championship. So there's probably not going to be any welterweight fights until the heavyweight Grand Prix is done with. We got some division updates as well. So let's start this show off. Let's go ahead and start it. Opening contest, continuing our heavyweight Grand Prix. And we do have a change that I will get to later as we are going to Montreal, Quebec, Canada at the Bell Center. I've turned the commentary off. I've turned the music off. There's not even any entrances here. So everything else is like a somewhat normal volume. I don't think it'll be loud for y'all. Shout out Bruce Buffer. Let's see what he says. I love that it has this record and not what his final record ended up being. And these are some quick-ass intros. So I don't think with this being light heavyweight Overeem, it'll be the biggest difference or deal. But here we go. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their MLK Day. I did. My Grizzlies won, even though there are a lot of things we probably shouldn't have in that game. But we won, so I can't complain. And it was a national TV victory, even though I watched the local feed. Fedor is dominating this early start. So, division-wise, heavyweight, we got the Grand Prix going on. Light heavyweight, y'all stay tuned for the next event. So then we have middleweight, which the title scene will be figured out. Number one contender here. Then we got welterweight, which I already told y'all we're going to do a Grand Prix once the heavyweight one is finished. I don't even know who's really going to be in that, if you want me to be honest with you. But we got a lot of people to choose from. So then we got lightweight, which our champion right now is Tony Ferguson. The number 1 contender is Dustin Poirier. When their fight will take place. Right now, it's penciled in for event number 4, but things might change with that. Might be event 5, but for now, it's event 4 with a number 1 contender bout also penciled in for that card. So we just said lightweight. Now, featherweight is interesting because I was going through the featherweight roster, and a great majority of the people that are on the featherweight roster, I could either put at bantamweight or lightweight. So there's a high chance we do not do anything with the featherweight division. But I love using Max Holloway on this game. Uriah Faber is one of my favorite fighters. Why I specifically mentioned these two is I plan on them two fighting at event 4. It's penciled in for event 4 as of right now. And I just mainly say that because like I went through the roster, like the featherweight roster, I'm like, Max has faced almost everybody here. He hasn't faced Uriah Faber. I like Uriah Faber, so that's why I've put that fight together for then. And like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing with the featherweight division yet. Same goes with talking about the bantamweight, but it has a higher chance of having something happen than featherweight. And then flyweight, we got the number 1 contenders bout and championship bout lined up tonight. So there's the division updates. Now, the heavyweight Grand Prix, while I'm giving updates, let's just go ahead and get the big one out of the way. As at 1 second left, Fedor Emelianenko will be advancing to face Stipe Miocic, probably at event. I've not planned anything for event 5. I will go ahead and tell y'all that now. I have a lot of fights scheduled to take place. I will say that. But for right now, event 5 is TBD, where event 3 is done, set. Y'all will know what happens at event 3 at the end of this show. Event 4, I've got it mainly figured out. Event 5, I know some fights, but not a whole lot. And we're going from there. So, continuing this show. The Heavyweight Grand Prix. So, the last fight that was scheduled to take place, we're being Dillashaw because, you know, it's supposed to be. Because the big question mark fight here is Dillashaw and Mighty Mouse. So that's why we're being Dillashaw. That's why we're going to be Mighty Mouse in that flyweight title fight. The main event, probably going to be George St. Pierre, but I'm still thinking on it. The number 1 contenders bout, we'll get to it. We'll get to it in the next fight. But here we go here. So, what was I talking about? Heavyweight Grand Prix. The last fight that was scheduled to take place was Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali. That fight has been postponed and pulled from the Grand Prix. And replacing it will be Tom Aspinall versus Junior Dos Santos. And even that is not entirely guaranteed. Tom Aspinall will be fighting in that 4th fight. Who his opponent will be is TBD, but I'm aiming and hoping that by the time we get to Event 4, which that fight will be on, that I will have the JDS alter ego unlocked. And even if I don't, I could still do the fight. It's not the biggest deal. Still considering maybe Minotauro Nogueira. A lot of good fighters to choose from at heavyweight. So that means that Event 3 in the next fight in the Heavyweight Grand Prix will be John Jones, Daniel Cormier 3. And like I said, Mike Tyson versus Muhammad Ali will be postponed and done at a later date because I've thought of a new series of fights to take place. Now, the original name that I had for this was Mike Tyson's Baddest Man Challenge. And every time I kept thinking about it, I'm like, it's like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. It's like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Everybody can, fight Mike Tyson. And then I was like, I'm just for now going to call it Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. If any, drama comes for that, mainly copyright, which, I'm not making money off of this, I'm going to call it Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. in quotations, Mike Tyson's Baddest Man Challenge, but at some point we'll be doing Mike Tyson versus Muhammad Ali, and it'll be the inaugural first Mike Tyson's Baddest Man Challenge, which the biggest and best challenge that he possibly could face will be his first one. So that is something that came to mind the other day, and if everything goes well, I know a lot of people want to see Tom Aspinall and John Jones. They have a chance to face off at the second round of the Heavyweight Grand Prix, so time will tell there. As we already know one Heavyweight Grand Prix second round fight, that being Stipe and Fedor, two of my all-time favorites going against one another. Two of my all-time favorites going against one another in the main event of this show, where I don't really have a feeling towards TJ Dillashaw and Henry Cejudo. I will say that TJ Dillashaw, I don't know if y'all know this store. It's called Beals now. Back in the day, it used to be called Burke's. There's an ongoing joke between me and ACMT2LV, which if he's watching this, he would comment right now, oh yeah, you're talking about this, as we did get took down right here. And I'm not used to this. I tried to fix this submission system, because this is not the one that I normally use, and I'm not even pushing the buttons it's making me push right now. So I did hear a loud bang outside. But TJ Dillashaw, at this store, Burke's, when I first went there, this is a good 10 years ago now. 9 to 10 years ago. They had a TJ Dillashaw shirt there. And it was a small. I ain't wore small in a good 15 years at least. And even then, 15 plus years. So I could not fit in this shirt. So we've always had this joke and nickname for Dillashaw, TJ $10 Dillashaw, since then. But shout out to Burke's, because, again, back in the day, I think this was 2016. So 9 years ago, I'm going to round up and say 10. I was able to purchase an Anthony Pettis jersey. And I do have another one, but I forgot who it was. So shout out to that. I've made a lot of purchases at Burke's the other day. In fact, the shorts that I'm wearing right now are yellow and were $4, and I got them there this past weekend. And these shorts have been there all year on clearance, mainly at $10 again. And when I got them this weekend, they were $4. So I felt it was time to. I was tired of seeing them hanging there. Let me just go ahead and pick them up. This is a bit of a tougher bout than the last one. It is a 3-round bout, as I did combine round and bout to make bout. And it has already lasted longer than their first bout. I probably should have said that already. We land 100 kicks. I unlocked the fanny pack on the punch card, and I came to the realization, I'm like, oh, I have to wear this t-shirt that comes with it. Like, it's a part of the t-shirt. And it's just a plain, it's like a grayish white t-shirt. And it's got such, like, short sleeves that I didn't really like it. So, went all that time to earn the fanny pack, and I didn't really care for it that much. But we're halfway to Junior Dos Santos. And like I said, hopefully next punch card is a lot better. So I don't really have any comments about the UFC pay-per-view this past weekend. I'd watched some of it, mainly kept up with it on Twitter. It's the best way to put it. It was a busy Saturday for me. It will be an extremely busy Saturday this week. Now, there's not a UFC. There's a UFC next week with Adesanya on Fight Night. And next Saturday is the Royal Rumble. So I'm going to hope that UFC's on during the day. I imagine it is. I think it is. Regardless, this Saturday, there are 4 back-to-back-to-back basketball games that are, like, televised for Rivals Week. Even though the first game is not a Rivals Week game, but it's in Paris. It's the Spurs and the Pacers. There is a Lakers-Warriors matchup, which I won't be watching because I have other stuff to watch. Oh, it's going to bother me. I think it's Nuggets and Sixers and Mavericks Celtics. I don't really know if you count that as a rivalry. It was a finals matchup. Oh, that was perfectly timed. And we do finish the bout. I'm going to look up what this last Rivals matchup is. Also, I'm trying to name these events. The first one is named A New Hope because it's a Star Wars pun. It was the first Star Wars movie. It was our first event. With this event, I have yet to come up with a name, but I think Double Trouble is the name I'm going to go with for now because we have 2 title fights, 2 number 1 contender bouts, and it's 2, so double the trouble. So, first game is Pacers Spurs, which is in France. Second game is Nuggets Wolves. Third game is Celtics Mavericks, and the fourth game is Lakers Warriors, which at that time I will be watching the Jazz Grizzlies game and have Saturday night's main event pulled up on my computer. And I was hoping that the Jazz and Grizzlies played on Sunday night because we play Friday night against the Pelicans, which I hate that I just did that because I'd closed the app out. So I'm going to double check now. I'm going to be Dricus du Plessis. I don't think I've definitely never used Sean Strickland on this game. I don't think I've even used Dricus du Plessis, but I feel that du Plessis and St. Pierre is a more interesting bout than Strickland St. Pierre, but whatever happens, happens. Or also being a red corner fighter. I'm going to look at what this Friday game is. So we play the Pelicans on Friday, which also is labeled as a rivalry game, which, if you want to say that, like, because they have a Rivals Week commercial, and I saw the Grizzlies in. I'm like, who the hell are we facing? And it's us Pelicans, and in the description it's like, since the 2019 draft, number 1 and number 2 pick have been, even though Ja and Zion have been linked together a little bit before the draft and whatnot, they're considered a rivalry. It's a weak point in it. So I don't think a glove touch is happening in real life. So there's that. But I was hoping that the Jazz and Grizzlies played on Sunday night because there's legitimately one game Sunday. I know there's NFL games. I will say I'm not watching, but at some point I'll like tune them in to see what the score is. I did watch Bills-Ravens because those were the 2 teams I was rooting for in what's left of the NFL teams, and I hated that they had to play against each other in this round and not the AFC title game, but that's kind of it's football. It's nothing to overthink. Strickland has given up a good fight. What is there to discuss? Oh, what screwed me over is because I probably wasn't going to watch Lakers Warriors anyways. I might tune in if there's a commercial break or something. But the plan was going to be have Saturday night's main event on the big screen and then Collision on the computer, where now Collision's going to have to be pulled up or DVR. I've never tried to pull up 2 tabs at once with videos playing on it because I feel that it'll screw everything up, and it's kind of hard to pay attention to like that many things at once. But Collision's probably going to get DVR'd. Last week's was DVR'd, but last week's was a taped episode. So there's that. So I can't wait to reveal, because I've already revealed more about Event 4 than Event 3. Right now, y'all only know one fight, if y'all been listening, and it's Jones-Cormier. And I'm going to give y'all a spoiler alert. That's the opening fight. That I know it's legitimately the biggest fight that's probably on the card, and it's going to be the first fight on the card. That just gives a compliment to the rest of the card, I feel. So I'm having a lot of fun with this. Like I said, with this game, like, career mode gets very repetitive. I don't really deal with the online stuff, and there's not much else to do on here. I feel there should be some changes and added, but they'll probably just wait till UFC 6 for that. Still hoping for a Pride Arena, surprise me. I won't lie, if they gave this round to Strickland, I don't know if I would have really argued it. Like I said, I've definitely never used Sean Strickland. I don't think I've used a Plessis. So, we're now going on to round 2. It's almost knocked my chair over to check on the screen. It's a force of habit to touch gloves, but, you know, it's just good sportsmanship. Oh, there we go. That's what we needed. Trying to go for that big finish. You know, I'm going to do something that I probably shouldn't. I'm going to check. I can't even see the challenges from here. I was going to see. I think I can see the challenges after the fight. Because the main reason that I was doing this series and, like, doing a bunch of fights is that I can, like, complete the challenges to finish the punch card. Where now I'm just booking, like, out of logic and things that I would want to see and not even that concerned with the challenges. So, it's a good thing for y'all. It's a good thing for me as well, because like I said, I'm trying to do something. See if I can do it. But the initial reasoning has changed. Oh, by the way, at some point Anderson Silva will be involved. I do feel like that probably should be addressed because I'm doing middleweight fights, and Anderson wasn't even talked about or brought up. Actually, he was. I did bring him up at the beginning. It'd be like if there's a movie and they wrote a character off, but like showed them in the movie, but like didn't have them like act. Anderson will get involved at some point. There's a lot of legends and fighters that they might not be involved in the beginning, but I'm gonna try to use in the future. So, just a disclaimer there. There will be some fighters that won't be used for reasons. Is the reason I'll give for now. Reasons in quotation. Oh, shot after the bell. I believe this is the first fight tonight to go past the second round. I think one fight on the last one went to the third round. Tried that too far out. And that will do it. I did not expect that to land, but we have 2 number 1 contenders. We have, technically 3 if you count Dustin Poirier. 2 number 1 contenders crowned tonight. TJ Dillashaw and Dricus du Plessis. Who will be the champions that they are fighting? We'll find out. The first one in a moment. Is this a precursor for UFC 312? Time will tell. Oh, what's today's date? Today is the 20th. Alright, challenges. Complete fights, fights by knockouts. We got a ways to go on some of these. Alright. So we won both rounds. I thought there was a slight chance that we didn't win the first round. But we did and won the whole fight. So now, first title fight of the night for the Flyweight Championship. Demetrious Johnson, Alexandre Pantoja. I struggle with saying his first name. I just normally say Pantoja. Trying to see what page of the notes we're on. Demetrious Johnson. Love Demetrious Johnson. I bought a Demetrious Johnson card, autograph card, for like $10 at the card store once. So that is one of my main Mighty Mouse memories. It's not like they showed the belt, so let's go ahead and go. I'll do the entrances for the main event fight. It's also interesting that they've not changed the gold gloves in the game yet. Like, I understand for, like, fighters with the alter ego, like Dustin Poirier, anytime he fights with the 302 alter ego, he has the gold gloves, even if it's not a title belt, but it's nothing really to complain about. I also probably should have put championship shorts on Demetrious Johnson, but I wasn't really thinking. Yes, we've been taken down. That kick was way too far away. Okay, we gotta take it down again. I don't like that. That one I had my hands ready for. I have a lot of videos of the YouTube watch later, so that is what I'll be doing after this. One of those videos, WWE Vault, uploaded today. A match that I think about a lot. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade from Raw 2020 in a ladder match. And there's like a crazy moment in that match where like Andrade takes the ladder away from Rey. And Rey tries to like give him a Hurricane Rana and he just falls completely on Andrade. But it's just such a weird time period for wrestling. 2020 in general is a weird time period for life, but like a lot of it blends in. I just wonder how many people like actually know about that match taking place, because it seems like something probably should get brought up a little bit more, but mainly the matches they had on SmackDown does. So we're going back and forth here. I was not ready for that one. Oh boy. I'm making Demetrious Johnson kind of look bad. I apologize. Oh, definitely perfectly timed saying and punch there. Bro, look at that person. He stopped doing it. All right. See, now, all right. There's a guy in a green shirt with the like white stripe around his neck, and he was like clapping so fast. It's very noticeable. Okay, he gets me every time with that. He gets me every time. Hands are never ready. I'm turning it up in the later. I'm turning it up next round. So he's got a minute and 8 seconds to not let it go to the next round. Can even switch stances. Oh, that one hurt. I was ready for that one, but it's still gonna happen. Maybe I should try a takedown. I don't think I've even tried to take down any of these fights tonight. He could have got me there. Interesting. Interesting. Also, if y'all have not, I'm at an hour, 30-minute video in the first episode of my Brooklyn Nets 2K25 series. Filmed it yesterday, uploaded it yesterday. So check it out. A lot of time went into that, obviously. Even had to take 2 bathroom breaks, even though it's technically 1, because I waited to take the second one after I quit filming. So we're getting way too sloppy here. That should have connected. That one, I legitimately, too sloppy. There we go. The stuffed one. Stuffed another one. Anytime I try to go for something in the clinch, I normally get done up. That one bothered me. Couldn't even get a shot off. Couldn't get a shot off, but we did get a submission attempt. As we're going into the championship rounds. We get the highlight. We are going to the championship rounds, right? This is round 4. This is definitely the furthest any of our fights have gone in this series thus far. Ooh. Oh no. Oh, he's going to tap, he's going to tap, he's going to tap. Demetrious Johnson becomes flyweight champion once again. Was that the plan the whole time? It was not the plan until the first time around I attempted it. I was like, oh, this did a lot better than I expected to, so. That is why, if my advice for going for submissions, work the body, because it drains their stamina a lot more. And then work the head. But if you work the body, you're more than likely can get a submission off. As we take it, the next flyweight bout scheduled is for that flyweight championship, Demetrious Johnson, TJ Dillashaw fight. That was murmured and rumored, and a lot of things got in the way of it. But now we could do it because it's a video game. As Dana looks like he is in another planet right now. What's crazy is Demetrious Johnson wasn't even around when they were using this title. That's how long ago he's been out of the company. That's actually insane. What are your thoughts? I like these titles, but they're just not the previous championships. It's kind of the way I could describe it. I'm interested in the scorecards because we were up on all of them. That I felt the second round, you know, could have went a little bit back and forth. Let's look at the overall. We landed more strikes. How many takedowns he got? He got 7. That's a lot. So now we got to go to this main event fight. I will be George St. Pierre, but that does not take away from my love for Robert Whittaker. I'm all right with either man, but I'm aiming to see what a middleweight GSP can do. So we're going to watch the entrances as well. This is an alter ego battle. I don't know which event Whittaker's is from. Might be 213. GSP is definitely 217 because it says it right there on the jersey. It's also, I didn't realize, thing one, this is the other thing. Very insane that Black Trunks GSP is not in the game because that's what he's like most known for, I feel, to me. And the one that's at welterweight has the blue trunks. And I just now used blue trunks GSP earlier and realized he has on the karate suit, the gi, I guess I should have said, and the headband. Whereas here he's obviously got on the jersey that he wore the night He became a double champion. Love GSP. I don't even remember if we watched these for the last event. I think we skipped, which I apologize to Pierre for that. He's got one of the best entrances in the game right now. I can't wait to reveal to y'all. This is another spoiler for event number 3. Every fight on that event is a rematch. I will tell y'all that now. So we can look at the tail of the tape. A lot of similarities. A big difference in that age, but I don't think age matters that much on here. See if there's any news to discuss. He definitely does not get that enthused for the other fights, but it is a title bout. The middleweight title on the line. Fighting! Okay, we're here. We're here. Didn't even push a button to elbow. Why are we elbowing so much? The crowd is chanting for us. Both times we got punched, a lot of damage went off. And I was blocking both times, so the fact that they were able to get through tells you all you really need to know. Okay, that one I was not blocking. Okay, that one I let go at the last second. We're also out of the apex. We're in the central bell. Center? Might be arena. I'm just going to say arena. Okay, that was a swing. We've had several swings and misses in this fight early. Leg check there. Back-to-back leg checks. That one wasn't. That wasn't a leg check either. Okay, that one wasn't. That was a leg check. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Am I an idiot for buying UFC DVD? Like, I haven't yet. I don't really want to resubscribe to Fight Pass. And I used to enjoy buying UFC DVDs back in the day before Fight Pass and even during Fight Pass. I'm an idiot for going out of my way to buy them, though. Just asking for future purposes. Both of our legs are pretty damaged. It's just the first round. Ooh! Could have been coulda. We coulda. That looks not that good. We get a sip of Baja Blast. So we are the highlight here. So force a habit to us. We're a little bit too crazy. Okay. I was going to say, we were a little bit too crazy leg kicking, but that's what you do it for right there. Right there. Lots of shots landed there, but he's back up because he's tough. I'm not trying to lose off freaking that bull crap. We're gonna try it again. Ooh. He's got a lot of stamina left. A lot more than you would imagine. Ooh. Yeah, and we went off a leg kick. I'll take it. I think we'll have to knock him out. But we'll take it. As George St. Pierre is once again middleweight champion. He has a challenger lined up, that being Dricus du Plessis. When that fight will take place, we will see. But if you want to know what fights will be taking place at event number 3, you'll find out in a matter of moments. Before we get to that, we got to put a championship around GSP's waist and wrap this event up and this video up. That was my pencil. So we've finished our first 6 pages of notes. GSP, again, another person. Never got to hold this championship. Even though he could have fought Khabib for it and all that crap. And GSP is kind of more understandable. Robert Whittaker will be back. No doubt about that. And at some point, I feel GSP will fight at welterweight. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I would be shocked if I never did anything with GSP at welterweight. So time will tell there. I don't think you could do double title fights on here. Can you? I don't think so. All right. This event is done. The video, we do need to see what will be taking place at event number 3, though. Let's see what our fighter of the night, all these accolades afterwards. Submission of the night, obviously. Fighter of the night was Dillashaw and Cejudo. That's fair. I do feel that Mighty Mouse and Pantoja could have got that. Knockout of the night, definitely. 1 second left in the round. Fedor. We will be seeing him facing Stipe in the second round of our heavyweight Grand Prix. Good event. Good event. Always trying to top your previous one, which this one, neck and neck. Or stay at the same level. How about that? Stay at the same level. So thing 1. GSP is going to be in the thumbnail. I like the main menu because I was like, should I put all the fights in the thumbnail or do the main menu shot? I like this a lot more. And it highlights the main attraction of the event. And I couldn't even fit all the fights in the thumbnail without it looking janky. So I like this a lot more than the 5 fights, but at least when you click on the video, you see the fights that last video. No, this one I made sure, hey, you're gonna see the 5 fights that are taking place. So there was that, and at some point I might change my mind on that. Who knows? But let's see what's taking place next time, and this video will be done. The light heavyweight champion, Alex Pereira, is already defending his championship like he would in real life. So, like I said, light heavyweight royalty here. Every one of these men, or 8 of these men, have been light heavyweight champion in the UFC. Dan Henderson, Wanderlei, Pride legends as well. All of these men have competed against one another. Jones, Cormier, our third bout, probably the biggest bout of the first round of our heavyweight Grand Prix. The previous 2 times they fought was at light heavyweight. Now it's at heavyweight with some high stakes as well. Another trilogy bout taking place here between Dan Henderson and Wanderlei Silva. I feel it's a bit more important because right here, light heavyweight title fight, Alex Pereira, his first title defense against Jan Blachowicz. So here's my thought process. I want Alex to go against the light heavyweight legends of the past, and I feel the most important ones are previous champions. And so when I was going down the list and like thinking in my mind, he's already beat Jamal Hill. He beat Yuri twice. He's not going to fight Glover. Him and Blachowicz had a fight, and it was extremely close. So that's why we're running it back here once again to see if it'll be different. And then before that is Jon Jones. And now I will say this. Alex Pereira and Jon Jones, I feel that is a fight that will happen on here at some point. When? I don't know. They're kind of going in 2 different directions at the moment, but at some point I feel that fight will happen. And then before Jon Jones was dead, Jon Jones and Cormier went back and forth. Now, I'm probably going to have Cormier more in the heavyweight division. Pereira, Cormier might happen, not guaranteed. And then, like I said, before Jon Jones, we got these 4 guys that are to the right. So, Shogun, Machida will be a trilogy completion bout. Rampage and Rashad is a rematch of a fight that was slightly disappointing in real life but had a lot of hype and anticipation. So we're going to run it back here. So I'll go into a lot more detail about this event next time around because this is what you will be seeing. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one because I'm out for now. Goodbye.